So Supersonic, yeah, this was a level. So I actually started playing this back in September 2022, which seems like a really really long time ago now. But my goal was for like that summer that I would beat two insane demons, that being Windy Landscape and Supersonic. And I beat Windy Landscape right at the end of the summer, so I never actually got to do this. But I mean that summer was still really good in terms of what I beat. I started playing this, yeah, in September, just like practicing it, and then I sort of gave up for a bit. Then I carried on early the next year, mostly in May, and that's where I actually started getting progress. But yeah, this level was pretty awful to say the least. I mean, looking back at it now, it's fine, but it was the first level where I actually had to properly grind to beat it. I mean, Windy Landscape came like really easy, pretty much out of nowhere, where the completion was. But for this, I had to like play from multiple hours like after school each day. I think most of the issue was because I was playing on 60 hertz at the time, and that meant that all of the shit parts pretty much were just really awful. Like I hated every single part. It felt really awkward, and especially the transition into G Boy's part was just complete RNG to be honest. So, and just to further evidence that, I would get nervous by just getting to that one shit part where it's like yellow background and like the black fuzz, even though that's only like something like 34% of the level, I think. Like where you get to that, I would already be nervous by that point because I would struggle so hard to just pass that part. It was way harder than it should have been. Yeah, I mean, I hated playing it to be honest, but it's a good level. I've played Ultrasonic since. Well, that's what I meant to play after Supersonic, as like it's like the sequel. And I thought at the time that was going to be even worse, mostly because of the 60 hertz, but it ended up being a lot better. Yeah, Supersonic wasn't great, but I mean, second Insane Demon that I beat, and it was definitely a
What the
lot harder
hell?
than
Bro,
Windy
it was literally
Landscape.
invisible.
So
Oh
it
my
made me feel
god.
like I
What the
had actually
hell?
improved, even if it took a while to beat it. It still was only like a few days, like playing from zero, really, when you think about it. So it could have been a lot worse, but yeah. Alright, so I didn't really realise, but it turns out I have a lot more footage than I thought I did, and I didn't really record enough audio for it. Um, but yeah, pretty much you can see a lot of dying at the duel at that like one pool part. Where sometimes I don't know what happens. Sometimes I go like underneath the orbs, like, and both of my icons go underneath, which is really weird. And then there's also, of course, a lot of dying at the G-Boy transition. That 66% was a death I got a lot of times. But once I got past there, it was pretty easy until really the last part. I shouldn't have really died past there, but I did a couple times, like
Oh
about
my god,
80%,
what the hell was that
just
actually?
there as I'm watching it. Um,
So dumb.
and yeah, so it wasn't a very enjoyable experience, that part of the level. That was where most of my deaths, well, most of my significant deaths were, because
Oh
it
my
just
god,
seemed
I'm
kind of
actually gonna beat
unbalanced when I
this.
was playing it, and it made it not very fun to play. But anyway, that's just how it goes. I'm probably just gonna edit down the rest of the footage so it doesn't take as long to watch, and then I'll just show you the completion. So yeah, enjoy. Oh my god. And after yet another death at G-Boy, I decided to call it quits for the day. But that was a really good
Okay.
session in terms of progress. I got to 95%. I was confident that I could beat it the next day, but well, we'll see how that goes. So the next day I didn't actually end up beating it, but I still did get very close. I died at the last Q part, this time at 87, which I'm not surprised about because it's a very difficult part. But that's pretty much the only progress I got that day. Day 4 began with yet another death at the Q part, but soon after that was followed by me getting to the last part once again, but this time I actually got well into the ship, and I eventually died at 97%, so that was very annoying at the time. I thought I was going to beat it that attempt, obviously, but at least I started getting consistent at the beginning. Day 5, the final day. Luckily it didn't start with me getting 98% or something like that, but I did get 89%. And then So that's it. My second insane demon and my hardest completion at the time. But as for what I thought about the level, well, I've touched on my thoughts a little bit throughout the video, but my thoughts are that it's very unbalanced, at least when I'm playing on 60 Hz. A lot of the level is very easy, but due to the physics of the ship parts and some other parts in the level, it's very inconsistent and there are a number of choke points, and that kind of ruins the enjoyability for me. But if I were to play it now on a higher refresh rate, I'm sure it would be a lot better. Also, this is a slightly new editing style, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. I'll probably try it out later as well with some future videos. And just so you know, a pretty big video is around the corner, and you can check out my demon list in the description.